Comes as no surprise that you take confidence from the Mark Chamberlain fight into that Shakur fight as well. And I was recording some clips for the highlights on my phone during the fight, and you try and get clips of you succeeding, you try and get clips of Shakur succeeding. I was trying to get clips of Shakur succeeding at one point in the fight, and I was struggling to, because you really kept him at bay for a lot of the first few rounds as well, and a lot of the fight. Were you expecting to have that much success?
I know my ability, and I back my ability a lot. Given I'd have had a full camp, I'd have been a little bit better with my timing, etc. But after sort of round 4 or 5, he started saying that his hand, I could see him wincing, saying his hands were hurting, and I could shout his coach saying, "Go to the body," which obviously were my demise after that. I thought, here we go. And his punch accuracy is perfect, so we were finding the body shots when I thought he was out of range, etc. So
there was a lot of work where you were trading with him, you were giving him it right back. What did you learn about his IQ and his ability to think 3 steps ahead?
Yeah, like I say, range, punch accuracy, it's perfect. Like I say, he'd slow the fight down with his lead hand and then speed it up with his backhand, so it gives you that false sense of speed, and you think you'd be able to counter something, and the next minute he's hit you and he's out of the way. So he's a good fighter. I think I would have done better given full notice, but things played out how they did.
What about the power?
He makes up for power with how good he can set things up and how accurate his punches are. They're on the button every time, and he doesn't waste anything. So even though it's not the hardest I've ever been hit, it's banging the solar plex every time, or it's bang behind the ribs every time, or it's bang on the temple, or he's setting things up. So obviously what he lacks in the power, he makes up in his boxing skills.
How do you think he would come up against Tank Davis? I'm sure you've seen, if not watched the full fight, you've seen what happened with his fight at the weekend, the draw against Lamont Roach. How do you think a fight with him and Shakur and Gervonta would play out now that you've been in the ring with that man?
It's always going to be that split. If Tank can land the power on him, then obviously it's how Shakur then deals with that power. But you can see how good Shakur's boxing ability is, and obviously he's proven it time and time again, 3-weight world champion. If he's on point and stays boxing, he might be able to get through the fight and obviously become victorious. It's a fight that needs to happen, in my opinion. The two most talked about fighters in lightweight division, so I hope it happens.
How would you advise Tank to land that big shot on Shakur? From what you learned?
Come in with bunches of punches, obviously, and set things up beforehand. And like I say, it's a bit of a different situation because the two southpaws fighting each other. But I'm sure Tank could be able to figure it out. And like I say, it's an intriguing matchup that I believe that needs to happen very soon.
How are you? How's the last month been?
It's been amazing. Like I say, dust has settled a little bit, but things haven't stopped being crazy. Matchroom straight on there with a next fight announcement, which is just what I want. Get straight back to winning ways. It's been amazing. Like I say, I'm glad that things have played out how they did. Would have liked to have got the victory and upset the odds and made history, but off the back of it, things have worked out.
Sure. What do we expect to see from you then? Because you didn't get the win, although everyone and yourself should be proud of that. What can people expect to see this time out when you're going to be the favourite going into this fight?
There were a little taster of what I'm capable of against Chamberlain, given a full camp, and I proved a lot of people wrong there. Like I say, this time we've got Matchroom behind me that we're going to come up with a proper career plan and path of how to get back to the top. So it's going to be good that someone's behind me and in my corner, and we can do it what suits us best now. So whatever you're expected to see me pick titles up.
When the dust settled, as we spoke about, it has done at the start of this interview, what were you able to take into what we're going to see in April?
Like I say, I've been in there now with like a world-class operator. I'll be able to myself. I know that if things get tough, then I can get back up and stuff, because I've never been on the canvas prior to that. But you'll see a very conditioned Josh Padley. There'll be no body shots getting through and taking damage like that, given obviously I'll be able to have a full camp.
For sure. Now I want to end off by just asking about the response to the last, not month, but the last few months, including the Mark Chamberlain fight, because I'm sure your family were proud of you and always will be, regardless of boxing, that doesn't matter. But when you fight at Wembley Stadium, get the win, and then fight in Riyadh against pound for pound, probably top 6, top 7 in the world, how has that all felt, being like, being the person that everyone's looking at and thinking, wow, he's actually living his dream? Have you felt different within your day-to-day life, even outside of working?
The Chamberlain fight didn't have as much of a big impact as what I thought it would have, but obviously off the back of the Stevenson fight, it's been unreal. I think every time I've left the house and gone to a shop, somebody stopped me. In the airport on the way home, I was passing some builders and they were all stopping me saying, "You're that electrician." So it's, like I say, off the back of the Stevenson fight, I've had a massive response, and it's all positive as well, which is amazing. And it's boxing fans can be very hit and miss, but no, everybody showed me a lot of love, and I'm appreciative for that.